Hello, you all. I am the official Tracy Ricks, and I want to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. If you have not already subscribed, please click subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload my new videos. Well, today we're going to talk about the importance of doing an honest self-introspect. Yes. And for those of you guys who have joined me for my 21-day paradigm shift breakthrough challenge, this is going to be a game changer concerning your progress. It's going to, oh my God, be such an amazing eye opener for you concerning your progress. Now, if you're new to my channel, we're engaging in a 21-day paradigm shift breakthrough challenge. And if you don't know what a paradigm is, the definition of a paradigm, I want you to go back to my previous videos where I explained it. But just for you, I'm going to explain the definition again of a paradigm. A paradigm is a multitude of habits that's been fixed and established in our subconscious mind, which is our habit mind, in our early years of life, around the ages of 7 and 8 years old. It's our core beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. So if you're new to my channel, we're doing a 21-day, I'm talking about life-changing, and I love that word because it is life-changing, paradigm shift breakthrough challenge. And this is our second week for some of us. And if you're new, you can start at any time. Let me give you this little bit of information before I go any further. I want you to go ahead and click on that link to download your action journal. Now, let's continue on with the importance of an honest self-introspect. Those of us who are on the challenge, or while we're engaging in this challenge, I want you to take some time today to reflect, to just think about the progress that you've made. Well, I've heard you. Well, I don't know if I've made progress. That's why we're doing this honest self-introspect. Now, we started off talking about habits, because I told you one of the definitions of the paradigm is a multitude of habits that's been fixed and established in our subconscious mind, which is our habit mind. We started off talking about how important it is to change one habit at a time. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. I gave you an example of triggers, actions, and rewards. This is the steps that we take to create a new habit. I talked to you guys about my life, about one of the habits I began to establish is I wanted to become more physically fit. And I started off with walking. That was one of my new habits that I developed. And so if you don't understand habits, go back to my previous videos so you can understand how to create a new habit. But today I want to talk to you guys about the importance of doing an honest self-introspect. Now, during the process of this 21 days, as we're, breaking old barricaded beliefs. And when I say break them, let me go back and explain. Let me slow down. I love to talk fast and I need to slow it down so you can gather this information so that you can cause some transformation, right? That God can use you for a transformation. Now, let me say this, is that I had to realize that some of the habits that I developed in my early years of life was not conducive for my growth. What do you mean conducive for your growth? Like procrastinating or having a habit of thinking negative thoughts about myself? Let me say this to the new people. We're also doing a 21-day smashing ants during this paradigm shift breakthrough challenge. What's an ant? Not that thing that crawls on your floor, not your floor, but somebody you know. But ANT is an acronym for automatic negative thoughts. So back to the habits. I had a habit of thinking negative thoughts about myself. So for those who were also maybe that type of person, we're going to create a new identity for ourselves. We're going to decide that we're not going to think negative about ourselves. We're going to create a new habit of thinking new positive thoughts about ourselves. I also gave you guys a homework assignment to help fix, that mindset concerning negative thoughts about ourselves. So we said on one column, we would get a sheet of paper and we would write down in one column all the negative thoughts that we were thinking about ourselves. And then we said on the other column, we would write down the things that God has said about us and the positive thoughts that we want to think about ourselves. And we're going to start using those as affirmations, speaking the positive things, the positive, characteristics and traits that we want to possess. Now, on Monday, I started a new video. And in that video, I talked to you guys about creating a new identity so that we can produce new habits, so that we can develop, new habits concerning the things that we want to change about ourselves, our characteristics, the type of person we need to become so that we can start living our best life, so that we can start fulfilling our God-given destiny, walking in purpose. A lot of the habits that I created in my life was hindering me, was paralyzing me, causing me to remain stuck concerning my God-given assignment. And yes, you have an assignment. You have a God-given assignment that only you can do. Yes, you were born on purpose for a specific purpose. No matter what you think, the negative thoughts maybe you think about yourself, or maybe your parents said they didn't want you, you were still created on purpose. Yep, for a specific purpose. But that's not what I'm talking about today. I wanted to give you that little nugget for free. I want to talk to you guys about the importance of those of us who are on this transformation journey from stuck to unstoppable. This 21-day paradigm shift. We're shifting our paradigm. We're creating new habits so that we can start seeing results. I want you to do an honest self-introspect. Now, let me explain about an honest self-introspect. I'm not talking about beating yourself up. I'm going to talk about myself again. I love to talk about me because I'm not going to get mad with me. I was the type of person that I would be hard on myself. So whenever I would do an introspect, and I didn't know what it was called back then, but I remember thinking negative thoughts like, girl, you didn't do XYZ, whatever it might be. Just say you didn't finish that assignment. You printed that journal and you hadn't even wrote in that journal. You always procrastinate, or I would just beat myself up. And as I became aware that I was beating myself up, thank God for good mentors. We can't do it alone. I realized that I had a habit of doing that. So I began to unlearn and relearn how to treat me. Oh, I know you thought I was going somewhere else with that, but I'm not. I want to talk about how do you treat yourself when you're doing these honest self-introspects. Maybe this is your first time hearing about this, but you realize that I do beat myself up a lot about what I did do or what I did not do, or the steps I didn't take, or the action I didn't take. Maybe you're beating yourself up for taking the wrong, steps of action steps, excuse me. We're going to stop that. We're going to, this next 21 days is going to be a game changer for you, because you're going to free yourself from beating yourself up. Now, back to me. I was the kind of person, and excuse me, you guys, give me a second. I was the kind of person, that I would beat myself up to the point where it would paralyze me. So, say for an example, as we're doing this 21-day mental detox, we're shifting our paradigm, we're unlearning and relearning new habits. I was the kind of person, if I started, say, on a Monday, and if I didn't complete, my assignment for every day, if I didn't focus on the new habit every day, when I heard someone mention it again, like I'm talking about doing an honest self-introspect, I was the kind of person that I would, once again, self-sabotage. What do you mean by that? I would beat myself up saying, well, you might as well quit because you had a bad week. And let me say this, even if you had a bad week, if you started and you felt like, oh, it's been a bad week, don't let it paralyze you, because it will cause us to remain stuck. It will cause us not to make any action steps. That's going to cause us to go from stuck to our unstoppable journey. So for those who have a habit of beating yourself up, this is how I overcame that. I was going to share this with you guys earlier, but let me explain it in more details now. I began to listen to my mentors, and one of the things that I learned was, if that was somebody that you love that came to you and told you that they slipped up last week, they didn't complete their assignments, what would you say to them? So I began to think about the advice I would give someone that I love. I would say, you know what? Don't beat yourself up. I would tell that person that you got this and God got you. I would tell them, be patient with yourself. I would talk to them about some things that I personally would do to help them achieve that goal, whatever new habit they was trying to develop, whatever new mindset they were trying to develop, I would help them. So it caused me to reflect over the fact that I was beating myself up because self-love was not evident. I didn't practice what I preached with others who I love. I had to learn how to practice it on myself, whom I do love. I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn that if you love yourself, Tracy, why would you beat yourself up? Why don't you talk kind to yourself like you do those around you who you love? I wouldn't let somebody I love beat themselves up, not in my presence. I would encourage them, you got this. God got you. Some of you guys know I love to say that. So I began to talk to myself like I was talking to someone else that I love. And I decided I love Tracy enough to talk to Tracy, to encourage Tracy when Tracy needs to be encouraged. And I became my biggest cheerleader. Oh, I heard you. Well, I need people around me to push me through the gate. I need somebody to encourage me. I'm here for that. I want to be one of your biggest cheerleaders. But let me give you a nugget. When you learn how to become your best cheerleader, that is my favorite word, one of my favorite words, a game changer. I began to say, Tracy, it's okay. You had a slip up on last week. Don't let it be a total relapse. We're human, but we're superhuman with superhuman powers, those of us who are believers. So what do you mean by human? Not as an excuse. I'm saying that there will be times as you're developing the new habits, you're shifting that paradigm, that you'll have slip-ups. Okay, maybe you're learning how to be consistent. Let me say this. I told you guys that motivation is overrated. Remember I said that? And I said it's not something that we wait on, it's something that we do. Now, I do agree that motivation is what gets us started, but self-discipline is what keeps us growing. That means that I'm committed to this, that even if I have a slip up, I'm going to discipline myself. And I gave you guys the definition of discipline. Let me share it again today. Self-discipline is the ability the ability to do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, in spite of how I'm feeling. So see, a lot of times with motivation, we're waiting on a feeling. But with self-discipline, I'm not waiting on a feeling. So once again, motivation is good to get, hey, thank God to get a lot of people going just to do it, okay? But we don't count on it, okay? Let me stop saying okay, but we're not going to count on that every day because sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. But discipline, self-discipline is what keeps us growing. So let me use myself again for an example. My motivation is, for me, that I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to discipline myself to keep growing. I'm getting better every day and in every way. That's my confession. So if I do have a slip up, when I'm doing my honest self-introspect, I'm not going to beat myself down. I'm not going to paralyze Tracy. I'm not going to, talk to Tracy harsh. And I'm not going to say, Tracy, you just don't do what you say you're going to do. Because if I'm talking like that, it's going to paralyze me. I always, encourage myself with the thoughts of, and this is the new Tracy, okay? The shifting of my paradigm with new thoughts of, you got this and God got you. I always tell myself, and I'm practicing this. This is my new habit. When I say always, I'm talking about like after I begin to shift my paradigm. I make sure I always encourage myself. I'm always, being aware of the fact that I had negative thoughts about myself that would cause me to remain stuck in certain areas. Now, when I see a little bit of progress, that's reward for me. That's a reward trigger. I'm saying, you know what? Hey, you're better than you were last year this time. Let me give you guys another example. Say if you're creating a new identity of the person you want to become calm, serene, and very peaceful. And for those of us who are believers, that's a part of the fruit of the spirit, self-control. It takes self-control, right? We got the power from God. Thank you, Lord, that we can gain self-control. So I wanted to become calm, serene, and very peaceful. Maybe that's your goal, to just, calm down. That was one of my goals. I had to create a new identity because I was the kind I could go there quickly. So say if that's your goal. So last week, maybe something came up and you snapped. Now you're aware of it. And so instead of beating yourself down, you snap. You said you were calm, serene, and very peaceful. Decide that I'm going to gain some self-control. Holy Spirit, I thank you for helping me. You're my helper, right? He's the helper. And then I'm going to be intentional. And now, me personally, I hit it more than I miss it. because I'm aware of it. I don't beat myself up when I have a slip up. I don't let it become a long-term relapse. I have decided that I'm in this for the long haul. I want permanent positive change, no more ups and downs. I talked about how vital it is for us to shift our paradigm, because some of you guys, the assignment on your life, if you don't work on the bad habits of just, showing out, that's one example, procrastinating, not overcoming those barricaded beliefs about your income, then it's going to cause you to miss out on opportunities. It could cause you, once again, to remain stuck, even though you've been praying and you want to see results. It could cause a person, and I won't keep saying you because I'm not condemning you. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but it could cause a person not to see the results that God promised them in his word. There are some of you guys, you've received even prophetic words, and it wasn't that that person lied or that God lied, but it was because you haven't taken it upon yourself to shift that paradigm, and therefore you couldn't come into agreement with what God had for you. Somebody need to say, oh, you're talking good today. So I want you guys to do an honest self-introspect. Those of us who are on this 21-day paradigm shift breakthrough challenge, we're not going to beat ourselves up. But I will say this, if you don't gauge where you are right now, how are you going to know what type of progress you're making? How are you going to know if you're seeing results? And let me give you another gem nugget. This is a nugget. Progress makes us happy. Some of you guys, you've been feeling heavy and you're just feeling a little bit of anxiety, overwhelmed. It's because you're being pushed out of that comfort zone. God is trying to push you. But, if you don't embrace it, and if you don't allow him to push you, then you're going to feel those feelings of being overwhelmed because you're not making any progress. Like the eagle stirred the nest, you have to push the little, I call them eaglets, out the nest. God is pushing you out of your comfort zone. He's trying to push you. Now, he's a perfect gentleman. I thank God. I don't want to offend any religious person, for the lack of a better term. He's a good God. He wants to push you out of that comfort zone. He wants to see your prayers answered. He wants you to see the results that he promised you. But we have to come into agreement with that. And if we do these honest self-introspects and we're honest with ourselves, gauging where we are right now, not beating ourselves up, then we'll know, where we are right now, and we'll know what we need to do and continue to do to go past the terror barrier. And what's the terror barrier? That's that barrier that's designed to keep you stuck. That's to keep you from going forward, to doing something new or something different. So today I want you to take some time. If not today, this week. This is the second week for some of us in this 21-day paradigm shift breakthrough challenge, and do an honest self-introspect, not a self-beat up. And I heard this, give yourself a pep rally. Yes, girl, you got this. Or yes, man, you can do this. Yes, it's just a little stumbling block in the way, but we're going to take that stumbling block and turn it into a stepping stone, the step right into our destiny. Begin to become your biggest cheerleader. And I want to be one of your biggest cheerleaders. I want to be there right next to you, beside you, to walk this out. And so if you haven't printed your action journal, print your action journal. I want you to follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I want you to click the bell for notifications. And I want you also to follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Tracy Riggs. But I want you to join this community. We have a community of action takers, celebrators, and congratulators. I see us growing, you guys. I'm telling you all, I see us growing and just taking over. Yes, taking over one habit at a time, one new habit for permanent positive change. Taking over what? Taking over whatever it is that God has called you to take over. Oh, yeah, I'm claiming that we're taking over. And so I'm here for you. I want to be your sister from another mister. I want to be when I say one of your biggest cheerleaders, to let you know that you got this and God got you. And I want you to join me on this challenge if you haven't already joined me. But today, for those of us who are in this breakthrough challenge, I want you to do an honest self-introspect just to gauge where you are so that you can see whether you're making results or not. Because y'all know I'm a result-driven thorough coach. Yes, I am. And I believe in results. It's time out for just claiming it's your year and not seeing the results. It's time out for just saying, God is good and God is good and good all the time, making all these old quotes and cliches that we know that we're not experiencing in our lives. We want to see results, right? And I'm talking about rapid, radical results. So once again, I thank you guys for allowing me to coach you on today. I want you to join this community. I'm going to say it for like the second or third time as we grow. We're growing together. Let's be great together. So I just want to thank you for your time. And oh gosh, I'm just excited about your future. And I'm going to say this again today. Let me slow down again. But I'm saying this to you again today. Not only does God love you and me very, very much, but He's placed His hands on you and me for something special. And it's bigger than big. And it's greater than great. And I want you to take some time today to enlarge your mental capacity to receive that. In the prayer of Jabez, he says, enlarge my territory. And that's translated as enlarging your mental capacity to receive the things that God has for you. It's so much bigger than what you see right now. So today, once again, I want you to do that honest self-introspect. Sometime before the weekend is over, do that honest self-introspect. Not beating yourself up, but gauging where you are, so that you can know the results that you're receiving or the results that you're not seeing. Because my goal is to take you way beyond where you've ever been before in your life. I pray that today is my fervent prayer for you, is that you will begin to go beyond your wildest dreams, moving and doing the things that you never thought that you could do. So once again, I'm here for you and I'm praying for you. And I want you to join our tribe of action takers, celebrators, and congratulators. And don't forget, as we're doing this honest self-introspect, we're not going to beat ourselves up, but we're going to build ourselves up. We're going to become our biggest cheerleader. And I want you to allow me to be your next biggest cheerleader. So I thank you guys again for your time. Share the video. I do believe that caring is sharing. And I'll see you guys on next week.